Hey everyone, this is Lisa from the Rhinestone World, and in this video we're going to be making this custom wedding sign using our new FDC Wall Vinyl in Restful White. It's a beautiful off-white creamy color that pairs perfectly for all your vintage or shabby chic projects. All of this is going to be designed on our Silhouette Studio software, and I cut this on my Silhouette Cameo 3. I am here in Silhouette Studio. Now I've already opened up the photo I took of my chalkboard. So my chalkboard's right here. It's, cute, but it's, oddly shaped. And so I want to make sure I'm designing all of my text to fit well into my chalkboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, and you'll see right here in your quick access toolbar that this picture is very large. It's 56 inches wide. I don't need that picture that big. So I'm going to go ahead and make my picture about 12 inches wide. And then what I need to do first is I need to lock this in place. So let's go back and make sure this is locked. And so I'm going to click right here, do 12 inches wide, hit the tab button. You'll see it does 9 inches, and then I can just go over and hit enter. So you can see my design has shrunk. You can vaguely see in my bottom corner that it's selected. Now instead of looking for it, I'm going to press this button right here in my quick access toolbar. This brings my item or object right to the center of my page. So if I click here, there's my design. Or not really my design, my picture. So now I just need to rotate this and set it up. So let's go ahead and grab this green circle. I'm going to rotate it because I want the top to be up here. So this is the top of my board, okay? Now my picture was a little bit crooked, so just keep an eye on how your picture is taken. Look at the object and not actually the picture itself. So let's go right here, rotate it, and I'm just going to rotate it a little bit more. So now I'm happy with that. Now you'll notice that my picture is larger than my actual item. So I'm going to find a way to basically resize my picture to the size of what the chalkboard is. So let's go right here, and I'm going to do the rectangle tool. And I'm going to bring this down and draw a rectangle and have it close up right where the chalkboard is. So let's go right here. Let's select it. Now I'm having a hard time selecting my chalkboard, so just be careful. Make sure you click right on the line. Now we'll bring it down. So now my box is basically the size of my frame. Don't worry about the sides here. They won't matter too much. So now let's select both of these, and I need to crop down my picture to the size of that square. So we want to go to our Modify panel over on the right side of our Silhouette Studio. So you see Modify. The icon's going to be a rectangle and a circle overlapping. And we can go right here to crop. So now you can see here this square is the size, height-wise, of my object. So now I just need to resize it. So I measured my chalkboard a little bit earlier. This is about 22 inches tall. So we're going to resize our item. On height, we're going to do 22 inches and then hit enter. So you can see now my picture is very big, which means I need to readjust my design space. So let's go over here. Let's click on the page tool in this top left corner, or top corner of the right toolbar. So you can see right now it's set to 12 inches by 12 inches. Let's set it to 24 inches, so basically 24 inches tall, or 2 feet. And now we can reposition this. So now if we have our workspace at around 12 inches wide, 24 inches tall, so basically this red square that you can kind of vaguely see represents our piece of vinyl that's going to be loaded. So our whole design is going to be set up in here, which will work out well because that's about the amount of usable space in this frame that we have to begin with. So now we have our design set up like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple more things to make designing easier. So in Designer Edition and up, we have the Layers panel of Silhouette Studio. You'll see it at the bottom of your right toolbar. It has like these two little like overlapping diamonds or squares. And Layers panel. So you can see right here, this is basically a representation by hierarchy of how your objects are in your workspace. So you can lock them in place, but you can also hide them. So if I click this eye here, the picture is gone. And right here, we can lock it. So if I click on the lock, I can't move my picture. So basically I'm saying, okay, everything in this layer, lock it, I don't want to move it. So we can click right here to the plus sign and make a new layer. And I'll double click on it and just type design. And so now whenever I make anything new, it shows up in this layer. So now we're all set. You can create the design however you like it. I'm going to go over and make my design, and then I'll set myself up to cut. Here I am. I have my design set up. I just used alternating fonts to set this up, and then I just kind of turned my text and curved it just a little bit. So you can see this also gives me a good way to almost make somewhat of a mock-up in our workspace, kind of get a better idea of how this is going to look. Now, now that we're set with all of this, we can just get rid of the picture in the background. So we can go right here, click on our picture, and delete it. Oops, just kidding. So we want to go over here, grab this picture, and delete it. Now it looks like I have nothing in my workspace, but that's because I made my text white. So let's go right here and color that in black. So now we have our design again. So just to make it easier on me, I'm going to group it together. And this represents our piece of vinyl. So now we're not using it as a mock-up. So I'm going to bring my design up a little bit higher because I'm just going to use my maximum amount of space. And I'm going to be cutting this with our FDC Wall Vinyl. So it's just like our decal vinyl, except our wall vinyl has a slightly less powerful tack to it. And it's also a matte finish. I really love using these for signs because with vinyl, I can just slap it on there. I don't have to worry about having to stencil it or anything like that, but I can also remove it and put a new sign on it later if I want to. So let's go over here to our send panel, and you'll see I'm in version 4.0, so 4.1, so we have our send panel like this. So let's go over to our material, click this arrow, and I'm going to bring this down. So you'll see I have FDC already programmed in here. And so this is a custom one that I put in there. But I'm going to double check. I want my auto blade on. I'm going to do my blade depth at 3, my speed. So last time I did it at 1, I'm going to raise it because this design's a little bit better. So I'll just bring it up to 7. Save that. My force is at 4, and I'm going to do 1 pass. So now I'm all set with this. Let me see how my machine is. So let's turn on my Cameo. Down here you'll see it syncing. And then in just a second it'll say ready. We're all set. So I'll load in my material, and I'll show you how to load in a longer piece of vinyl, and then I'll be ready to cut. Here's my Cameo, and here is my vinyl. You can kind of see that the color is a little bit off from my Cameo. That's because I'm using our new FDC Wall Vinyl. This one's called Restful White. It's a nice, clean, off-white color. Now my Cameo, the last thing I cut, I used a cutting mat. You can see my roller is all the way over here. So let's bring this down. I'm going to unlock this because I'm using the Cameo 3 and bring my roller over to this mark here. So now I have this all set, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my vinyl and make sure that it's going to feed through straight. So I'm going to line it up with my little mark over here, check my roller over here. Now let's click load. Now we have this set. So what we want to do is we want to feed it through. So I'm going to press this button here and use this and kind of make sure it goes through straight. When your vinyl loads in crooked, that's how it'll slide towards the end. So we got a pretty good one. So let's bring this back like this. And it stops right there because it knows it has vinyl loaded in. So I have my settings all good. I'm going to press send, and then my decal will cut. Alright, so our design is all weeded out. It's a little bit hard to tell just because I'm using white vinyl and it's got a white backing. We have this all set. Now I'm ready to pick this up with my transfer tape. So this is our wall vinyl application tape. We have it on our website at therhinestoneworld.com. Now this is made with a lighter tack. And we want that because we have lighter tack vinyl. So if we were to use the normal transfer tape for decals, when the vinyl gets attached to whatever it is, it would actually, the application tape wouldn't actually release because the tack on the application tape to the vinyl would be stronger than the vinyl to the wall. So that's why we use a lighter tack application tape, because then the tack between the wall vinyl and the wall or whatever item is stronger. So we're going to cut it, And now I'm just going to drop it in the middle and then bring this down and smooth it. So I'm just using my scraper and burnish my design and just make sure we have a good stick between my vinyl and the tape. So I'm just go like this. So we're all set like that, and I'm just going to trim off this bottom part to make it easier. We're just going to keep smoothing, make sure it's really good. And now we're ready to apply this onto our board. Here is my design, and I have it on top of my mirror. So I'm kind of setting it up this way to figure out my placement. And so I'm looking at how my text is at the top here. So I made it to curve just a little bit, and I want it to be a little bit farther down, and I want my groom and bride to fit in well. So we're just kind of checking this out, checking our alignment. And so now that I have it set basically how I want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a really long piece of washi tape. So this is craft tape. It's really low tack, just like my wall vinyl application tape. So I'm going to grab this, make a big piece that's going to cover the whole thing, and I'm just going to tape it off. So let me put this here for now. I just want to readjust my text just a little bit more. So I'm just going to fold it so I can find about the middle. So now I have the middle of my decal. All right, I'm happy with this. So applying this wall decal is a little bit trickier because you don't have your clear application tape. So I just want to be extra careful. So I'm going to bring this to the side and drop my tape down. This doesn't have to be straight at all. We just want it down on here. So we're going to do something called the hinge method. So let's go over here. Let's peel up half of our decal. And you can see my decal is on my tape. So let's scrape up my paper backing. So I just cut that off, and now we can just go ahead and drop our decal down, and we'll use our scraper to scrape or burnish this onto our workspace. So now we can just go ahead, lift this up, so we don't need this tape anymore. This was just to hold it steady. So now we can just basically do the same thing on this side. So let's peel our tape off our paper. All right. And so I can just peel this back. Sometimes pieces will come up, that's no big deal. Just bring it back down and scrape it a little bit more. And we're all set. So now we have our sign for the wedding. Choose a seat either side. You're loved by both the groom and bride. So I was able to bring in a picture, set this up in my design space in Silhouette Studio, and I applied this with our FDC Wall Vinyl. This is Restful White, and I used my wall application tape. All of that is available on our website at therhinestoneworld.com. If you'd like more information on how to make more designs like this or other education opportunities, visit the link below, and make sure you comment and like the video. Hey everyone, if you like this video, click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on our training opportunities or to learn how to make more designs like this, follow the link below.